Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel with another video for you guys here today. And this is a topic that I am so excited that we're going to be covering. Micah Parsons declares war on sports media, and I am just happy with how everything has been unfolding. And I think it's our job as fans to chip in as well. I'm going to talk about why I believe that in just a moment. Now, before we get into that, if you could do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell to help fight against the YouTube algorithm and support the channel. That'd be awesome. So thank you so much for that. So let's dive into Micah Parsons versus the sports media and how I'm feeling about this entire thing. So Micah Parsons does a podcast called The Edge, and he was talking about, hey, why are the Cowboys getting all of this smoke and being treated like a team full of bums? However, you have other teams that don't perform to a certain standard. And when this happens, a lot of the times the sports media comes to the defense of these players or teams that didn't perform well and say things like, oh, well, so-and-so got injured, so the team couldn't really perform up to par. Or, oh, it was just a bad day at the office, you know, if someone threw 3 interceptions and threw away the game, it's okay, stuff happens. Or, you know, it's the NFL, it's a week-to-week thing, whatever. But when it comes to the Cowboys, it's all smoke and no form of reason for why they didn't perform up to par. They're just a bunch of bums, they're ass, whatever, right? So what Micah Parsons is looking for and what I've been looking for is just matching energy, number one. But number two, talk about other teams than the Cowboys in sports media. Like, talk about how against the 49ers, without having their starting quarterback, the Cleveland Browns and that defense led by Myles Garrett and company shut down that 49ers offense, which was on a roll. Or talk about how the Jets defense stifled the Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts didn't perform well. Or talk about how all of these other things are going on, like how for some mystical reason the Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-2 even though their offense is straight ass because of Matt Canada. You know, like there is so many storylines that exist in the NFL that you don't need undisputed to talk about the Dallas Cowboys for 2 goddamn hours. Yeah, that is a legitimate thing that happened. You had a whole 2-hour show of Undisputed with straight up Cowboy segments. We don't need that. All we're looking for is matching energy. And so there's another side of this where people are like, well, you don't want to talk back to the media because you're giving them what they want. Well, let's just call it how we see it. They're going to talk about the Cowboys regardless if you say something or regardless if you don't say something. If this was, you know, a handful of years ago, sure, maybe. But at this point in time, the sports media has lost so much credibility and it's all for clicks and whoever says the dumbest shit possible to catch the most headlines, that we need to see the energy returned, okay? I get it that you shouldn't be saying certain things, and I'm not saying that you get arrogant with this, but if they're going to talk shit about you and these are human beings, people, like they understand that there are people that are talking shit about them and they're going to feel a certain way. I don't have a problem whatsoever if you were to call these people out for what they are and the bullshit that they're doing, like Micah Parsons was to Emmanuel Acho and company. And what's funny is a lot of these people that were responding to what Micah Parsons was saying just further proved his point because they didn't address what exactly he said. They just went around what he said. So what am I looking for here? I want this Cowboys team to embrace this role that we've been using, this villain tag. I'm all for it. What we need to do as Cowboys fans, or rather, before I get to that, what Cowboys players need to do is not be afraid to talk shit to the media. I'm not saying talk shit about other teams and get bulletin board material. That's not what I'm saying. Talk back if you want to. In fact, you don't need to just say that they're stupid or they're dumbasses. You could just be like, well, bro, why don't you talk about this team? Or, oh, I hear what they're saying. Yeah, I think they're a load of crap. Like, say something, right? Don't be afraid. Embrace that shit. That's a fuel that can be used to motivate this team week in and week out with constant bulletin board material about how Dak Prescott's this, how Micah Parsons is this, how this team is this, how Mike McCarthy's that. You have so much fuel for a fire that you can take that and try to manifest it into a weapon that can, help you win games. That's a thing in sports, right? And so the way that I look at things is now as us fans, we should embrace this role too. And I hate that I'm going to say this phrase because people know that this has been mentioned in Philadelphia, is no one is going to like us as fans. No one is going to talk good about us. No one's going to do anything for us, right? So fuck them. They don't like us, so we shouldn't care. What we should do is just talk shit. That's okay. We shouldn't be afraid to be like, yo, you're fucking stupid. Or, again, you might be saying, well, what is the difference between being arrogant and... Again, we're not going out there and saying we're going to do all... But all we're looking for is matching energy. And if they want to go out and say this stuff, we need to come right back at them. And that's why this new media thing is real and tangible, and it's a big deal. Because we're out here, like me, I have a full-time job and I'm doing this as a freaking hobby. A lot of other people do this as a hobby, and you have a select few that do this as a job. And that's awesome, because you're providing fantastic context, research, film analysis, which is much better than what you see on fucking cable television, let me tell you that. But we need to go out there and not be afraid to call out bullshit when we see it. So I might end up restarting the series where I call out the bullshit in the media. And a lot of people like that. I stopped doing it because I was like, maybe it's just too much. I'm going to probably bring that shit back. We're going to be reviewing segments from sports where they're talking about the Cowboys and how I feel about these things. I think that that's going to be a thing moving forward on this channel for you guys, for myself included. And what do we need to do? Oh my God. At home games, this is the big thing that I want to talk about. We need to take the energy and throw it into that stadium. A lot of the times it's a very country club. You're going there to watch a game. No, fuck that. We need energy in that stadium. When they're talking shit about our team, we need to go out there, be as loud as freaking possible, and not afraid to stand up during the games and get loud as hell. That's a big-ass stadium in a freaking dome most of the time. It can get loud in there. We need to make sure we're bringing that. I just don't understand why Cowboys fans don't. It's not that they're outpriced maybe, because, and I say that because for someone that's in the Delaware Valley area and that is a big Phillies fan, the ticket prices are insane. I got a season ticket package with my family and friends, and, sure, that was pricey, but you have people that are purchasing tickets for $400-$500+ and are still being loud and rowdy, and they're not just sitting down. Like, sure, with baseball, it's a different sport, so the ebbs and flows of a game are different, but standing up for 9 innings in a baseball game for, like, 80% of that shit is unheard of. And I think that if Cowboys fans can develop the same mentality and us get pissed off and use that anger towards other teams and, something to motivate, this team is just missing that flair. I really believe that. So I'm really, really hoping, and this is my call to Cowboys fans. I'm not sure how many people are going to watch this video, but please, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to talk shit. Don't be afraid to say certain things, because at the end of the day, no one's going to give a fuck that you're a Cowboys fan. Everybody hates this team that isn't a fan of this team. That's just the nature of it. We are the Yankees. We are the Lakers of those respective sports. If they're not going to like us, then why should we try to make people like us, right? Again, on a on a sports fan perspective. I'm not talking about personally, of course. Everybody knows me. I'm not a trash talker, but I'm talking about more so with the media, and if people want to talk shit, then give them the same energy. We shouldn't be afraid to do that, and that's my calling to every Cowboys fan out there, and I'm going to leave it at that. Tell me what you guys think down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.